After Real Madrid's exit from the Club World Cup, a lot of Madridista fans all over the world are looking to the future, looking upcoming months, especially August when the league starts. Manny, if you were the coach, who would you start today? Welcome to the recap. There are 10 positions that you can actually maybe debate about, but there's only one that you can't, and that's the goalkeeper. Who are you starting?
When healthy, Thibaut Courtois is the undisputed starter for that team. He bails them in and game out. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight blocks a game. That man is a brick wall, and when the defense holds up, Madrid looks untouchable.
I agree. I think Courtois, when healthy, is the greatest, if not one of the best goalkeepers, in the world. Uh, Very great shot stopper. Horrible with his feet. Horrible timing to come out too, outside of his 18 box. But what the basic need of a keeper, he does amazing and excels. But let's start with that back three line. Who are you putting in there?
Dean's got to be in there. He's shown why Madrid paid what they paid for him, and honestly,
Steal of a.
they didn't pay enough.
Mhm.
Send
Yeah, that's a
Bournemouth
steal.
an extra 50.
No, you
Yeah,
guys still need that extra 50 to hire somebody else. But it's a steal of a player, man.
Dean's got to be in there, and you can say Tchouaméni, with his weird position that Xabi Alonso's using him in. He plays a defensive mid. When they have the ball, when they're attacking. But he also stays in the back line playing as a center back, right there in between the two other center backs.
Hmm.
And it gives, Dean or the other center back a chance to, push up. And if those wing backs are also making the runs, Tchouaméni is right there in case of a counterattack. So I think Tchouaméni starts right there in that weird pivot slash center back position he's been playing. And, here's a hot take for me. If they are not ready to trust Militao because, Militao came into that game versus PSG, it was looking like the game was over. Madrid was down 3-0. They did concede one more goal, but I wouldn't put that on Militao right there. I think team morale was at an all-time low and, they checked out mentally. So if you don't trust Militao there, I would play Alvaro Carrera at the left center back. Fran Garcia is healthy and they plan on keeping him and he stays in this good form that he's been with under Xabi Alonso. I would give Alvaro Carreras a chance right there in that left center back position. And it's not something that he's unfamiliar with. It's something that Benfica would do every now and then. But those are my three backs.
I don't agree with Alvaro Carrera playing Militao. I think it was a good performance. Militao comes in, he's been injured for a long time. He wants to do his best. Yeah, he looks good against a PSG that's walking that already won the game. Militao needs to wait a little bit because last time he came back, he got injured right away. So wait a little bit, get your 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, work up to that full game or half a game. And then let's talk about playing you as a starter. I still think you got to go with Rudiger. Even though Rudiger is not fully healthy, you have to go with them. You have nobody else.
50% Rudiger is better than a 70, 80% Militao or a 100% Alvaro Carrera. Carreras is a great defender. He wins majority of his duels. He's gone against elite teams. They played Barcelona 3 times last season. They did concede a good bit, but that's because Barcelona is an elite team. But he went on the conference and he said, "I am shutting down Lamine Yamal." And out of those 9 goals they conceded from Barcelona, only one of those came from Lamine Yamal. So he's a very capable defender and he's got the size to play a makeshift left center back.
If you're gonna go with Trent on the right hand and you're gonna go with Fran and Carrera on the left, don't even show up. Stay at home. It's literally an open goal, and
We're
and it's
we're
sad
we're done
because
with the Trent conversations because he played majority of the Club World Cup and he was not a cone. He was winning plenty of balls back.
it's gonna be a hard season for Trent, especially the fact that he comes in as a superstar.
If Trent was able to
And
win the
and I
hardest
I
league in the
dude,
world, he's gonna be just fine in La Liga.
but he had great defenders. I'm telling you right here, Xavi Alonso saved him for the embarrassment that Trent was gonna make against
No,
PSG.
I
Xavi
disagree.
Alonso
You could
saved him.
clearly
They
see
said he
that we
was
needed
injured.
him and we needed
He
Dean.
saved him. Oh, it didn't matter who you guys had. Dean would have helped. But Trent Xabi Alonso saved him from that embarrassment. It was gonna be nasty because that is your superstar coming in. He's a superstar that not wanting like Mbappe, where you chased him for 7, 8 years, whatever it was. You did a good deal for Trent, but defensively, he's not putting out what Madrid expect. You have nothing else to add about the defenders.
I'm just gonna say Madrid is very happy with Trent Alexander. The only people that are not happy with this are Liverpool and Barca fans.
No, Madrid is very happy that Carvajal is finally back. That's what they're happy
We'll
about.
see.
Let's go into that midfield, man. Let me know your lineup of who you would put in that midfield.
With the formation we're going with, three back, five back system, you got Trent Alexander, right wing back. In my lineup, you got Fran Garcia, left wing back, just off what they can provide to the attack and just those counter-attacking opportunities. In the middle, I would put three players, starting Jude and Fede at my pivots, play a box-to-box kind of midfield roles. I believe that they can go one-on-one with anybody in the middle. I would put Arda at my 10. They're trying to make him into a center mid, but that man is a 10. They say he's the Turkish Messi, but that man is the Ozil region. He is a 10.
I don't agree with that midfield can go toe to toe with any midfield. If we put out the midfields of all the elite teams, it's probably the last or close to the last best midfield. Name wise, PR, yes, you have a lot of PR with Jude. You have PR with, I'm not going to say Valverde because Valverde, that man does everything for the club, and it seems like the club doesn't do everything for him. I don't want to see him ever again play in the right back position. He needs to be in the midfield. But the sad thing about Valverde is he plays with Jude Bellingham and Arda. That's the sad part about this. He plays with Jude Bellingham and Arda. Jude Bellingham can't control a game. Arda can't control a game. Fede Valverde, unfortunately, can't control a game. He's good at everything else, but can't control a game. Madrid, to me, needs to hire one or two good midfielders. You need a midfielder that can control, give that pace, give that last ball to the forwards, where Bellingham is great at scoring goals. And that's where I think a lot of that hype came in for that first year where he scored a lot of goals. But let's look at last year. His positioning, we can blame it on Ancelotti. It wasn't great, but when he had the ball, he wasn't a Pedri. He wasn't a Vitinha. He didn't control the game. So to me, that's where Madrid is lacking. And that's where a player like Dean Howson, he looks great at the national team, but he's not going to look that good at Real Madrid because he doesn't have those midfielders.
We're just gonna have to agree to disagree on this one because my top three midfielders in the world right now are Pedri, obviously, Fede Valverde, and Jude Bellingham, and I'm just going to die on that hill.
That's a very lonely hill. Madrid can hire one or two midfielders. They'd be very fantastic. You need that Toni Kroos. You need that Modric. That unfortunately, Modric is gone. Toni Kroos is gone. You need somebody that controls the pace, controls the game. As in right now, maybe they can change, and maybe with Xabi Alonso's guidance, they can do better. But as in right now, I don't see them evolving. Now, are we gonna play a three up top or a two on top?
The vision that I have for Madrid, I'm Ancelotti, I mean, if I'm Xabi Alonso,
Whoa, that was last season.
if I'm Xabi Alonso, it has two forwards up top, 3-5-2. Off current form and performances, I have to give it to Gonzalo and Mbappe. I have to leave Vinny on the bench. He's had way too much slack. They're saying it's not his fault. He'll bounce back. Well, like, how long are we going to wait for him to bounce back before we do something about it? Because we're dropping points, we're losing big games, and we can't just keep waiting for Vinny to bounce back. And he may never bounce back. You never know.
We're very lucky to be born in an era where we saw Messi, we saw Cristiano Ronaldo. Do we have the Messi Cristiano Ronaldo syndrome where we expect players that are deemed to be great to have the longevity that Messi Cristiano Ronaldo had? When if you look at Ronaldinho, he only had one amazing year and then it wasn't the same. Do we have that Messi Ronaldo syndrome? And that's why we expect this from these players?
I don't think it's Messi Ronaldo syndrome. Vinny seems like defenses are figuring him out. He takes the same approach every single time. He's gonna sprint down the wing and try to dribble through a defender, and it's just not working. And his crosses haven't been effective. He forces that shot, that inside cut. He forces the shot every time, and he just needs to adapt. Messi and Ronaldo were able to extend their career for so long because they adapted.
I'm not saying that Vinny is at their level or at their quality. We were fortunate enough to see these players do it for 15 plus years.
Florentino and the whole board at Real Madrid has given him the green light. Nobody is indispensable in this club. The club comes first, and if you need to bench somebody, you can bench them. We have to sell somebody, they're sold. Xabi Alonso needs to take a moment and just see what Vinny has been providing to this team because he hasn't been giving them much
Mhm.
ever since he was left off of that Ballon d'Or.
How many games do you give Gonzalo to perform?
You treat him just as you would treat anybody else. You can't afford to give players the superstar treatment. Gonzalo is no different. If you're performing, you get minutes. And if you're not, you got to see the bench. Going back to Vinicius, he really thrived in that two forward system. They didn't have a nine. Them just going back to that would go a long way for Vinny.
It's a lot of interesting pieces that Xavi Alonso has. Overall, I see the first game of La Liga starting with Vinny and Mbappe on top.
That's looking like what we're most likely going to get.
Hopefully you enjoy this video. If you do, make sure to like, share, subscribe, send this to anyone, and I mean anyone that has some ball knowledge or zero ball knowledge. See you here next video.